This week's edition of Church Media Design TV is sponsored by Clark and Awake Images. Welcome to another edition of Church Media Design TV, tips, tricks, and how-to for you, the Church Media Designer. I'm your host, Brad Zimmerman, and I'm joined every week by my faithful, bobble-headed friends. You got it right. We got Adam and Jamie from the Mythbusters. We got Dwight Schrute. We got Little Whitey, the miniature version of me. And of course, we have Jesus Christ, the Son of the Lord Most High. Well, on this very first edition of 2011, Happy New Year, we're taking a look back at the top 10 things from 2010, as well as we're going to take a look forward at 2011 and some projects and things that I'm curious how they're going to turn out, as well as what they're going to be in the first place. So we're going to be talking about all of those things, and they all are the best of for church media. They're not just random best ofs. It's the best of tools and applications and websites for you working in the church. So I'm looking forward to that, as well as we're going to have a freebie and some inspiration for you. So if my favorite bobbleheaded friends are ready, let's get into it. Well, first off today, we're going to jump into the future and look at 2011 and all of the great new things that are going to be coming out that I'm looking forward to before we take a look back at 2010. So the first thing is kind of a sad thing, but also a great thing. We're saying goodbye to Creative MYK, and we're saying hello to Creation Swap. As you can see here on their website, it says goodbye Creative MYK, hello Creation Swap, and it's got a countdown. 10 days and 10 hours until that site launches. I could try to describe this, but I'm just going to let them do it, so check out this video.
In today's church media marketplace, we find artists creating inspiring and thought-provoking content, and the church searching for great resources. Welcome to Creation Swap, a unique online network where church media is shared by artists around the world. Here's how it works. Visitors browse through our free and shop galleries to instantly download high-quality photos, sermon graphics, bulletins, logos, and more. Need some design and printing help? Most artwork in our galleries can be customized, printed, and shipped directly to you. Creation Swap also features thousands of Christian artists all over the world. Visit our network to join the conversation, view portfolios, and even hire an artist for your next project. In short, Creation Swap is an online convergence of church design resources and inspiration, art, and conversation. Only at Creation Swap.
So as you can see, this new site looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm very curious what it's going to be like when it comes out. So make sure to stick tuned to creationswap.com and see if there's a great way for you to be a part of it, as well as I think it's just going to be a great upgrade. I love the new name and the whole idea of it all, and I think it's just going to be a great new site. So check that one out. Next up, we have another one of those sad stories that something's going away, but we have a birth of something new. And this is the death of Collide Magazine. They are shutting the doors on Collide Magazine, but they're opening up a whole new thing called the Echo Hub. And this looks to be a whole training site and resource year-round Echo conference type of destination that can be used year-round for training and resources and all that sort of thing. So I'm very curious what this site is also going to look like. So make sure to sign up for that newsletter, and you can find out more when the Echo Hub launches. So that's another great one. And then the next two projects are something that are very interesting to me, and I have no idea how well they're going to do and how well received they're going to be. They're both social media platforms for the church. So they're a way to communicate with your church, and I'm very curious. Is this going to be something that every church across the country is going to adopt and it's going to become a very normal thing? Or are these just going to go to the wayside and everybody's just going to, use Facebook pages or something like that. So the first one is the table project. Finally, a social media application built for the church that is simple, beautiful, intimate, and free. So they have a great video that you can check out there. And the other one is SoChurch. And SoChurch is a fully featured church communication control center minus the training systems contracts that you loathe. So both of these products have yet to totally fully launch. I think they're partially launched at this point, but you can check out both of those things on their website, as well as you can find a list of these things and the best of 2010 on CMD.tv/120. So those are a few things. I know there's so much more that's going to be coming out in 2011, but those are a few things that I'm looking forward to for the church. Well, before we move on, let's say thank you to our sponsors, and our first sponsor is Clark. Now, they were super close to making my top 10 list for 2010 because of what they're doing with holograms in the church and innovating this whole new area of technology used in the church. And we saw this at the Story Conference, as well as we checked it out at their studio. But Clark is way more than holograms. Clark specializes in strategy and facility planning and audio, video, and lighting for the local church. What separates Clark from other firms is its long track record as practitioners in these fields. From developing standards for multi-site to engineering and installing HD simulcast systems, Clark's experience has turned the vision of hundreds of churches into reality. So if you want to check out more about them, head over to their website, clark.is, and you can find a ton of great articles and information about what they do and all of the installs that they've done in the past and how they want to help you in your church. So if you're thinking about new construction or system upgrades, make sure to check out clark.is. Well, our next sponsor is Awake Images, and Awake Images create modern artistic worship backgrounds for the church. And they do this via triple wide content that spans across multiple screens, or they do 16:9 content as well. And all of this content is great for multi-screen projection or for environmental projection. They have over 35 volumes with over 400 images in each volume. If we check out their website, awakeimages.com, you can see some samples of some of their different images here, as well as we can check out some of their different volumes here. So like Sacred Panoramics, which this is triple wide content meant to project on your building, on the inside of your sanctuary or your meeting space to create a new mood and a new atmosphere. I just think some of these images are just so great and can help create just a whole new vibe and feel. And their first volume is absolutely free, as well as if you use the promo code CMDTV, you're going to get 40% off your order, which is a great value for all of these awesome images. So if you want to create a new atmosphere, a new type of feeling this new year in your spaces, make sure to check out Awake Images. Well, I'm super excited about giving you guys my list of top 10 things from 2010 for church media. Now, I know there's a lot of lists out there that go through top 10 stuff, and I don't want to just be another one of those lists. I want this list to be helpful to you guys of trends that I saw from this past year, as well as things that are going to continue into the future to keep your eye on, and things that can be helpful for you in your local church. So to get us started, I'm going to start with the most token of all token things. This one is, it's pretty, everyone's probably going to say something along this line, and it is the iPhone 4 / the iPad / mobile phone development stuff. I got my little iPhone 4 here, and I love this phone. It's a great phone. AT&T, however, is the worst network in the country. It's been rated that this past year in 2010. They were a worst cell phone carrier. But the reason that I put this on the list is because of all of the controller apps. You can get a ProPresenter remote, a Keynote remote, iTunes remote. You can, for your phone as well as for the iPad, you can get remote controls to control your digital consoles and your lighting consoles, and you can do click tracks, and you can do all of these different things all from these mobile devices. You saw here at Christmas time that North Point and other groups had done this before, but North Point did their iBand with Christmas songs, so they had all of their stuff was done via playing on iPads and iPhones. And so you know, this war between all the mobile phones with Android and Windows Phone 7 and all these different things are putting so much more in your pocket as a producer, as well as the people in your church's pocket. You can guarantee that they're looking at your website from your phone, and all of these things, they're changing the way that we use media in our church. So number 10 on the list is the iPhone, iPad / mobile phone development. Well, next on our list, coming in at number 9, is WordPress. Now, WordPress has been around for a long time, but in 2010 they came out with 3.0 of WordPress, and this was a huge new update. They had been working on a new user interface in the late 2.8, 2.9 era, but 3.0 they solidified the new user interface, and they also came out with a ton of new features like custom post types, and they have featured images and a lot of different things that make this so much more of a website platform, not just a blogging platform. And this is free that your church could use, as well as different products like the standard theme came out. Now the standard theme claims to be the best coded WordPress theme ever, and it's perfect for bloggers. You can also use it for church websites. And John Saddington put that out, and it's a great product. As well as in 2010, ChurchMediaDesign.tv switched over from my custom Flash backend that I built to WordPress, and as you can see, this is our current website, and you know, this is all built on WordPress, and so I'm loving WordPress, as well as I think a lot of other people out. So number 9 is WordPress.org. Coming in at number 8 is a brand new network of sites that popped up in 2010. One of these sites had been around and had really been drawing a lot of attention, and that was ChurchCrunch.com, and it was a great place to find news about technology for the church. Well, John Saddington, who I mentioned in from the standard theme, he said, you know, we need to have a better segmentation of all this stuff. There's more to talk about, and so he started the 8-Bit Network, and you can find them at 8bit.io. So they have some different sites here. We have ChurchCrunch.com, we have Church IT, Church Create, which I talk a lot about on this show. That's all about art and design. And then we have Church Drop, which is mobile devices. Church Code, that's about coding. A brand new site of theirs that I'm really interested to see how it continues to develop in 2011. Church CMS, which is all about church content management systems. So how to use WordPress for your church, or how to use Clover sites, or all of these other systems that you can use to do content management. So that'll be really interesting to see how that develops. Then we have Church Loop, which is a job board, and then of course John's website, Human Error. But this is a great network of sites that brings awesome news all the time. They have an awesome team that are bringing you lots of different stuff. So coming in at number 8 is 8bit.io. Next up at number 7, I couldn't help but put myself on the list. One of my favorite things from 2010 was doing the first ever online church media film festival. And this was way more than films. This was motion backgrounds and series design. And we had tons of people. We had tons of entries from continents all over the world and countries all over the world, because continents are all over the world, countries around the world, and cities all over the United States. And so we had a ton of different entries you can check out on the website. We had mini movies, sermon intro videos, sermon graphics, worship background, and event promo categories with some great prizes that people won from those. You can go check out all of the entries at the link in the show notes or below, and you can see all the finalists from that. And there is a new film festival, the second year. We are going to be doing this again, and I think it's going to start in June. So June 1st, look for the film festival coming again to the website. So number 7 is the Church Media Design Film Festival. Coming in at 6 on our list is actually HTML5. Now, HTML5 is on the list because in 2010, a lot of browsers became compliant with HTML5 standards. A lot more standardization went on, as well as a lot of websites started adopting HTML5. And this is a mixture of CSS and JavaScript and HTML all coming together to make rich internet applications or websites that you can do a lot with. You know, Gmail is a very good example of the power of what you can do with a website. I mean, there's so much crazy stuff going on in Gmail. You can do drag and drop, and all of these things that used to only be accomplished with Flash are now being accomplished with HTML only. So, well, slash CSS and JavaScript, all of these things married together. So one place to check out is HTML5 Rocks, and they have a great, you know, library of different things that you can check out, from a code playground, interactive presentation, sample studio, and tutorials. As well as Apple has HTML5 Showcase that you can check out, a bunch of different websites that were all done in HTML5. However, I will note that these are all HTML5 to Apple standards, so they're not totally standardized HTML sites. So this one's a little shaky. As well as, we did an interview here on CMD that you can check out. Head over to cmd.tv/112. We did an episode demystifying HTML5, and we interviewed John Dyer, who's done a lot of different work with HTML5 and really knows his stuff way better than I ever could. And so that's a great episode to check out. But this, married with mobile phones and new computers, is really changing how we communicate on the internet. And so I think this is a really big deal, and you're going to just continue to see this ramp up in the future. So if your church is still, you know, using Flash, or your coding is way behind, you should really look at the possibilities that you have with HTML5, because there's a lot of them. So coming in at number 6 is HTML5. Well, coming in at number 5 is Cinema 4D. Now, Cinema 4D is a 3D application that has been around for a long time, but in 2010, it really ramped up its usage among motion designers as well as church designers. And you can head over to their website, maxon.net, and you can check out all the different usages of it. You can see here that, you know, ABC and MTV and Red Bull and all these different people are using Cinema 4D for design. Also in 2010, we had sites like GrayscaleGorilla.com that started doing tons of tutorials and a lot of different great content on how to do studio lighting and all these different things, how to get realistic light and all these different soft body dynamics and all these different crazy tutorials that really help somebody who doesn't know how to use one of these 3D apps to do it well. And then we have designers for the church like Barton Damer from AlreadyBeenChewed.tv, who's doing awesome illustrations and designs. You know, like he did a free layered Photoshop file at Christmas time, and the text from that Christmas graphic were actually done in Cinema 4D. So that Christmas ribbon was all done in Cinema 4D, and he does amazing Cinema 4D work. So 2010 I saw as a year that Cinema 4D really started ramping up its usage in the church. Now, I'm not saying that you need to use it. I would just pay attention to it because it has great integration with After Effects, and it could be really useful to you and your church. So coming in at number 5 is Cinema 4D. Coming in at number 4 is ProPresenter 4. Now, ProPresenter 4 is the 4th iteration of this program. It's been around for a while, and it's been a lot of people's favorite presentation program for the church. And this 4th version really stepped up their game and added tons of new features and really useful stuff for the church. Like one of the newest additions, which is the mask layer. And as you can see here, this is for environmental projection. So if you're going to use, you know, images from Awake Images or something like that, you can see here, this is a sanctuary with lights on, then lights off with projectors with no mask. And now you can see that they've gone in and masked things out in the room to make the light look a little bit more purposeful. So they've masked out the screens, and they've masked out some different things on the walls. And then they finally put the images up on those screens. And so really crazy what you can do with that, as well as they have their advanced module, which allows you to do multi-screen projection, so you can have up to 3 different screens with different things on each screen. And then one of their newest ones, which is edge blending, which allows you to take multiple projectors and seamlessly integrate them together so that you get a nice looking screen, like one big huge projected image. So these are all awesome features, let alone their normal features of presentation views and templates and props layers and all these other things. Then on top of it all, they said, you know what, we've always been on the Mac. Everyone wants us on the PC. We're going to do it. So they finally put out ProPresenter for Windows, and you've been asking for 10 years, and they finally did it. So now they have ProPresenter for Windows. Now, some of the features are a little bit different, but the core of ProPresenter is there on the Windows platform. So that is huge. So coming in at number 4 is ProPresenter 4. Coming in at number 3 is the Glyph. Now, this is something maybe you've never heard of, and it's kind of a segmented crowd that actually can use it, but I think this is amazing, and I've loved being part of this project, and I literally have been a part of it. As you can see here, this is the Glyph. I'll take this off. And this is a iPhone 4 tripod mount, and this is just a single piece of durable plastic with a threaded screw mount in it, and it fits snugly around an iPhone 4. And I mean, you can hold it upside down, and I'm shaking it and it's not falling out. You know, and I got my little Gorilla Pod here that I can screw it into and get great shots with the HD video camera that's on here. As well as this thing acts as a kickstand, so if you want to do like little kickstand stuff with your phone and be able to, you know, sit and type or watch a video at your desk or something like that, you can do that as well, you know, from either angle. As well as it can just be a phone holder for you because it helps with the antenna issues of the iPhone 4, so you could just leave it on there all the time and have that be your case. The thing that's cool and why I said I've been a part of this project is they started this via Kickstarter.com, where you put your project up and say how much money you need, and if you raise that amount of money within the certain time frame that is set, the money is taken. But if you don't raise the money, no money's taken. So let's say you need $100,000 for a project, $90,000 is pledged in a month, no one's money gets taken. But if $150,000 gets pledged, all of that money gets taken, that project gets started. And it's been amazing to be a part of seeing this product come together, and I think it's awesome. I've been doing some test videos, so if you have an iPhone 4 and you're looking at doing any sort of you know, spontaneous video or something like that, this Glyph is a great idea. You can check it out at theglyph.com, and you can buy one of these for 20 bucks, so it's super cheap. You can check out the photos here. So it's currently on back order because so many people want it. I got mine ahead of time because I was part of the Kickstarter campaign, but check out that. Coming in at number 3 is the Glyph. Well, coming in at number 2 on my list of best new things in 2010 for church media is DSLRs that shoot video. So this is the Canon 5D Mark II or the Canon 7D or the T2i, or all these different cameras that shoot video, but they're digital still cameras. Now, these cameras have awesome depth of field, very shallow depth of field. You can put in different lenses on these cameras to get really amazing shots. If you go to Vimeo and check out any new videos on there that look spectacular and look like film, it's probably shot on a DSLR. Now I want to give you a couple resources for these. The first one is Philip Bloom's website. Philip Bloom does reviews of all of these cameras. He's a filmmaker who's adopted and said, you know, DSLRs can do it and they can do it well, and he's proven that to us, so you can check that out there. As well as No Film School has their DSLR cinematography guide that's totally free ebook. And then last but not least is Stu Matchowitz from ProLost. Has a bunch of different things, like he's got a little post here about the Scarlett, and he's a great filmmaker and also does a lot with DSLR, so you can check out a lot of reviews and information on his site as well. but this is really changing the price point in which we can get amazing quality video, let alone a great camera to shoot stills at for your church. Now, you know, these cameras range everywhere from $1,000 to, you know, $4,000, but it's still cheaper than the, you know, $5,000 to $7,000 camera setup that I used to film this show that I bought, you know, 3 years ago. So things have really changed and progressed. You can get some really great stuff. There's problems here and there, and you can find out all about that on all of these sites. They have great guides and lists for you. But coming in at number 2 is DSLR video. Last but not least, coming in at number 1, you may have guessed what it is, maybe you don't know what it is, but it is Adobe CS5. Now, CS5, I really think is a huge leap forward in so many ways. It is a 64-bit native version of the Photoshop suite, or of the Adobe Creative Suite, that contains, you know, if you get the Production Premium, you get Photoshop and After Effects and Premiere and Illustrator and all of these different great programs. All of them now can handle a 64-bit operating system. They can handle tons of RAM. They're hardware accelerated. Premiere is hardware accelerated by particular graphics cards, so you can get real-time rendering of real-time keying, real-time levels, all of these things in real time. Editing is now faster. You get crazy tools in After Effects like rotoscoping tools, where it'll you just, you know, draw a little line and it will rotoscope an image out for you, as well as in Photoshop. And we've been talking about this, awesome 3D tools that you can do 3D text and so many different things with that that are truly impressive, that make this suite stand out amongst a ton of other software as something that, again, I will recommend to you guys over and over again. Save your pennies, save your budget, and get the CS5 Production Premium or get the Master Collection. If you want to get a non-profit version, it's between $500 and $700. It's almost $1,000 off the retail price. You can find that at cdw.com. They're the place I choose to shop for all of that stuff, but CS5, the Creative Suite, really is a huge step forward. I think it's an awesome suite, and I think it's you're gonna look at the time of all of these suites and you're gonna say CS5 was the day that things changed. They really did some amazing things. And again, because of these nonprofit licenses, it makes it cheap for you and your church to be able to afford to have this awesome software to get projects done right and well, and not have to break the bank on crazy expensive software suites. You know, Cinema 4D is probably priced out of a lot of people's budgets, but CS5, Production Premium, Nonprofit Edition is probably within reach for many of you. So that's my top 10 list. If you want to find any of the links to any of these things or anything like that, you can find it all on our show notes at cmd.tv/120. That was 2010. We already looked at 2011. Next up, let's get inspired. Well, today's inspiration is music related, but if you want to find more inspiration, make sure to head over to cmd.tv/inspiration for tons of inspiration that you can find that I post on a daily and weekly basis. So tons of great stuff on there. But today's inspiration is musical, and it has to do with a show of mine that I'm not going to apologize that I enjoy. I enjoy watching Glee. I think it's a fun show. I think there's some really great music. Some of the storylines are a little risque, but overall Glee is a lot of fun. And Elevation Church must think so too, because they did their own knockoff of Glee, and they did it well. They did it really well. So check out Elevation Church Going Glee.
Life's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. I keep doing my own thing, walking tall against the rain. Victories within the mind.
start a fight. Na 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 na, I wanna start a fight. Na 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 na, we're all gonna get in a fight. So what? I'm still a rock star. I got my rock moves, and I don't need you. And guess what? I'm having more fun. And now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight. I'm alright, I'm just fine, and you're a tool. So what? I am a rock star. I got my rock moves, and I don't want you tonight. Hey, try to see things my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight, or say goodnight. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short, and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Try to see things my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight, or say goodnight. We can work it out. 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 Together, 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 everyone. Together, together, come on, let's have some fun. Together, we're there for each other every time. Together, together, come on, let's do this right. We're all in this together. Once we know that we are, we're all stars, and we see that we're all in this together. And it shows when we stand hand in hand, make our dreams come true. We're all in this together. Once we know that we are, we're all stars, and we see that we're all in this together. And it shows when we stand hand in hand, make our dreams come true. Oh, make our dreams come true. Everyone.
Well, today's freebie was actually meant for the Christmas season, but I wanted to make sure you guys had it anyway. It's my paper field loop. It's a kind of textured field image that's got kind of a Silent Night slash First Noel kind of vibe to it. And it's great for Christmas, but maybe you can find uses for it the rest of the year. Again, this is on the website in HD 720p, MP4, and WMV, as well as 800 by 600 SD in WMV and MPEG-4 as well. So you can download all of those on the website, as well as you can find a whole lot more freebies at cmd.tv/freebies. Well, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Church Media Design TV. For links and show notes for all of what we talked about today, the top 10 list and all the links that I talked about in there, as well as looking forward in 2011, you can find all of that at cmd.tv/120. All of the stuff is there, and that's the best place to get in touch with me. You can leave comments about today, leave comments about if you think there's other things that have really impacted church media in this past year that you find interesting. I'd love to see those in the comments, or your questions as well. You can also find me on twitter.com/cmdtv. You can find me at facebook.com/bradley.zimmerman for my personal page, or facebook.com/cmd.tv for our show page. as well as you can shoot me an email with any questions, and that's brad@ChurchMediaDesign.tv. So thanks for tuning in to this first episode of 2011. I can't wait for all the shows that we have coming up here in the future. So as for me and my favorite bobbleheaded friends, we're saying, see you later.